I was able to walk out the gates of Bedford Hills after 18 long years. And I thought that I was okay in there. I thought that I was as normal can be. But the day that they opened up that gate, I realized that I wasn't well. After being incarcerated for 18 years, it took me 3 hours to leave off those grounds. I just could not put one foot in front of the other, go outside that gate. I kept looking at the gate and me. And that is because that's all I've seen for so many years was me in a bar, me in a gate, me in a needle, me in a pill. And to know that I had freedom from all of that right now was just too much.
Release from prison, the end of a long, terrible nightmare for individuals who suffer from mental illness. Sadly, however, for many, the end of a prison term does not mean freedom. Instead, it's part of a vicious cycle that sends them right back to incarceration.
So I know I lost my house, I lost my car, I lost every position I ever owned. So when I came back out, I was on the street pretty much. I was pregnant and on the street. And I remember going to shelters. I couldn't get into some of the shelters out there. I was having troubles. Everything I was trying to do. I knew I was court ordered to do a program without ID, without this, without that. No one would just accept me into their program. So I was going through the motions, trying to get the ID, trying to get this, just to get set up to do what the court was asking me to do. But before that could happen, I wound up getting arrested again.
Probation and parole in America traditionally has been the trail 'em, nail 'em, jail 'em approach. Supervise them, catch them doing wrong, and lock them back up.
Nonprofits are absolutely critical to the functioning of these systems and provide incredibly important services.
We think that people are best served by community-based services where people live in least restrictive setting possible and receive their treatment in the community. And so these are the services that are being cut and have been cut for years. Mental health is the first thing on the chopping block, and so we see over and over again, you know, the really cost-effective programs are the ones being cut.
So what you see is a community that is without mental health services, which once again is going backwards. At one time, each community had its own mental health center that was sponsored by the city. It was just like you have a city clinic or a community clinic, they also had a mental health treatment center. And those things have been absolutely wiped out.
Housing is one of the number one things you hear. Living in the shelter, people have told me that being in the shelter feels just like jail. The conditions are so poor that it feels so unsafe.
It gets very difficult for folks to address any issue without knowing where they're going to sleep at night. That's one of the reasons why we got housing. I'd love to have, instead of sitting here telling you 126 units of housing, I'd love to be able to sit here and say I have 1,000 units, and that probably wouldn't be enough.
There's also built into the program, and everybody, no matter whether you're a community bed, which is people that are just low income, that have a job, that are functioning, that are working well, they can access those services, and people that are here that are on a mental health program or on substance abuse program and have, as a result, have gotten into this wonderful housing, they also can access it. So everybody gets the service across the board.
And I just found myself in a world that didn't understand me. I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to cross the street. I didn't know how to use a cell phone. I didn't know how to use a microwave. And how do you tell people that you don't know how to do these things? I no longer knew how to live among New York, people that never sleep. I couldn't do it. I felt like I wanted to kill myself. I contemplated going back to Bedford and asking them, can I come back? And I could live in prison. I did it. My mom was gone, my grandparents were gone, everyone that was dear to me that helped Stacy was gone.
Then discharge has to be more about integration into community, not just here are your pills, come to see your PO this particular day, see you in a week. But a full understanding of what does it take to be in the community and stay in the community. Housing, yes. Benefits, yes. How are you going to live and eat? Absolutely. But the other things are, how do you build community? How do you build your natural strength, the natural supports in your life? Those are the things that really keep you out.
People are ending up in crisis on the street because they aren't able to get their community-based mental health services. They aren't able to get the treatment they need. So whether we like it or not, police officers are now needing to fill this role of like a community social worker, right? Community mental health professional.
The current way in which we administer mental health treatment has failed in America, and we've relied upon the criminal justice system to be the safety net, and that's a horrible safety net.
But it doesn't have to be this way. Reform of probation, community-based services, housing. In 2014, Mayor de Blasio convened a special task force to look at many of these issues. The solutions are obvious.
What the task force gives us an opportunity to do, though, is amp it up. There's going to be 350 officers trained by the end of summer. Those officers will be in the location in the precincts that are around the First Diversion Center, where we can hook you up with care and really get you some help. As opposed to taking them to jail. So we're putting the diversion center and the training together. They work hand in glove. And we think that that's going to have a real impact on officers feeling like they have more tools.
Get treatment to people who have mental health conditions early on in the process so that people like me don't slip through the cracks like I did back in 2010.
We need good quality care. When rich people have mental health breakdowns, they get good quality residential care. And there's enough medical money, the Affordable Care Act has helped with this a bit, that we can provide good quality care residentially on a short-term basis, but also day treatment in the community. We should have teams that go into the community, into people's homes, communities, neighborhoods, to provide crisis intervention, to provide ongoing treatment.
And so it just shows again that like we're setting ourselves up for failure. If we don't have the community supports, what do you expect people to do?
So I think it's important that we give good services and good recognition to mental health challenges at every step of the way, before a person comes into the criminal justice system, while they're in that system, and after they leave that system.
Ultimately, we need to rethink how we view mental illness in this country. We need to treat it as a public health concern, not a criminal justice issue.